Now at 10, we'll hear from the friend of a Madison woman killed in a Hawaiian helicopter crash, how she wants her to be remembered. And the medical examiner releases the names of the two men killed in a late-night crash in Rock County.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for watching News 3 Now at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. A police department in Hawaii says two people from Madison are among the dead after a helicopter crash. The Kauai Police Department says 47-year-old Amy Gannon and her daughter, 17-year-old Jocelyn Gannon, were killed Thursday during a safari helicopter tour. Rescue workers found the wreckage yesterday afternoon. The helicopter's pilot, as well as 4 passengers from Switzerland, were killed. Investigators are still looking into what caused that crash. A spokesperson for the Madison Metropolitan School District says Jocelyn was an 8th grader at Hamilton Middle School. A letter to families said, in part, as individuals, we all have our own ways of coping with bereavement, and for many of our students, this could likely be their first experience with this type of loss. Please talk with your child about Jocelyn's passing and seek appropriate help if needed. Emotional support will be made available to students and staff in the school library on Monday. Tonight, we're learning more about the Madison mother and daughter lost in that crash. Amy Gannon was the co-founder of a local nonprofit organization. Adam Duxter spoke to that group's co-founder and Gannon's business partner tonight.
Well, Amanda, Amy Gannon's friends are describing her as someone who made it her mission to help, uplift, and empower others.
I didn't even think that could be someone I know. I just never even thought something like this could happen.
For Heather Wentler, the news is still hard to believe.
It still doesn't feel real to me. It still feels very surreal in that I'm either going to wake up or Amy's going to call me.
That she's lost her business partner and friend, Amy Gannon. In 2012, the two met at a startup weekend, and they quickly noticed in a crowd of more than 100, there were only a handful of women. That's when Heather says they got to thinking.
Amy is always all about the big ideas, and when she sees a problem, it's always how can we fix or eliminate this problem.
In the years since, their group DOUBLEDAY'S has worked to empower hundreds of female entrepreneurs in the Madison area.
When she talked to you, when she worked with you, she made you feel like you were the only person that existed at that time.
She says it was that ability that truly made Amy who she was.
It was magical. It really... Wait a second. When Amy was in front of a room was when she really came to life, and she just brought this energy with her that no one will ever be able to replace.
Amy Gannon survived by her husband and 16-year-old son. And Heather says with all the accomplishments that Amy's had in her career, she always considered being a mom as her #1 accomplishment. With someone like Amy who's given so much to so many, Heather says she's already had a number of people reach out and approach her about wanting to help the family. And she says they're trying to figure out the best way to do that as of this time.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. And Gannon was also a longtime faculty member at Edgewood College and a former interim dean. Representatives with the college said in a statement this evening, Amy was such an energetic and positive presence on our campus for many years. Our prayers today are with her family and all who loved her.
And as we head into tonight, our second round of precipitation is moving into southern Wisconsin. We're mainly going to be dealing with rain, heavy at times, and some areas of fog, although we have seen some reports close to Walworth County over the last hour or two of some flashes of lightning. So don't be surprised if we do see some flashes of lightning or some rumbles of thunder, hearing them overnight as some thunderstorms are possible. Madison, right now looking at foggy conditions with that rain right on our doorstep on the Edgewater Skycam. Temperatures are starting to warm up as well in the upper 30s in Madison, up to 43 in Janesville, 42 in Monroe. I expect these temperatures to continue to rise overnight, and there will be some foggy spots where it isn't raining all that heavily. So right now, still some dense fog in spots like Monroe, visibility at 1.5 miles in Madison. Temperatures will continue to rise through the 40s and 50s overnight with areas of rain and fog. And then tomorrow we'll keep a chance of showers in the forecast with temperatures in the 50s. And then we could be talking about some snow as we head into Monday. All of that and more coming up in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. All this rain and warmer weather is hurting more winter business in the state. Mount La Crosse had to close today because of the rain. It's unclear when they'll reopen. In our area, Tyrrell Basin had to close earlier today because of the weather. They're planning to reopen tomorrow morning. New at 10 tonight, the medical examiner has released the names of the people killed in a Christmas night crash near Janesville. 19-year-old Emmanuel Jones and 20-year-old Quentin Castillo were killed late Wednesday night in a crash on West Rockport Road in the town of Janesville. Authorities believe they swerved to avoid hitting another car and hit a tree. They were headed back to work after a break. That crash is still under investigation. Madison police are investigating after 2 buildings were hit with gunfire this afternoon. Officers say they responded to a report of shots fired around 3:30 this afternoon at the Seven Oaks apartment building on the 1100 block of Moreland Road. People in 2 vehicles were shooting at each other in a driveway. 2 nearby buildings were hit with gunfire, but police say no one was injured. Madison police say a liquor store was robbed this afternoon. Officers say multiple people allegedly robbed Rocky's Liquor just before 2 o'clock this afternoon on West Beltline Highway. Witnesses told police the suspects were armed and drove away. Officers later found the vehicle they left near Post Road. The robbers ran away, but police were able to detain 3 of them. And on the east side of Madison, witnesses told police a man dressed in all black went up to the passenger side of a car in the Easttown Mall parking lot and fired at least 1 bullet into the window. The suspect then got into a black vehicle and drove off. The victim also drove away. No one was injured, and police are interviewing the driver who was shot at. Kenosha police are investigating the death of a baby boy. Officers say they were called out to a home Thursday night for a baby not breathing. Emergency crews were unable to resuscitate the 9-month-old. Police say the death is suspicious and they're trying to figure out what happened. In La Crosse, police are looking for a woman and her sick 1-month-old daughter. The 2 were reported missing while the child's father was in La Crosse County Circuit Court. Police are asking for any information about the whereabouts of 40-year-old Tracy Cadigan. Her daughter is in need of critical medical attention. Anyone with information is asked to call the La Crosse Police Department as soon as possible. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office arrested a man for his 7th OWI offense. 69-year-old Donald Siebert was arrested after a concerned citizen saw his car traveling north on Highway 22. Authorities say Siebert was unable to stay in a lane and failed a field sobriety test. His impairment is suspected of being from a substance other than alcohol. That OWI is another good reminder to those planning to celebrate New Year's Eve with alcohol. The city of Madison is urging people to plan ahead for safe ways to get home Tuesday night. Emily Burdett has more on programs that are offering free transportation for this upcoming holiday.
Before you get behind the wheel of a car, ask yourself how much you've been drinking.
There's just so many options for people not to drive.
More than 10,000 people a year fall victim to drunk drivers, averaging 1 death every 50 minutes. For individuals or groups without a designated driver, programs like Safe Ride offer free transportation. The program has provided almost 93,000 rides in Wisconsin within the last year.
I put my time into offering people rides home instead of, I'm probably not even going to be open yet.
Debbie Stueber says she has been around bars her whole life. Now a bar owner herself, she's a member of the Tavern League of Wisconsin, allowing her to coordinate with Safe Ride.
There's so many options out there for people to take a ride home or call a friend or the Safe Ride.
But Safe Ride isn't the only option. Metro Transit is also offering free transportation on New Year's Eve.
I think it's a great idea. People need it. People overdo it on New Year's Eve, and so it's a safe ride home.
From 7 p.m. to 3:30 a.m., buses will offer free rides based on the regular weekday schedule with an extension till 3:30. And for those who may be concerned about riding with a passenger who has been drinking,
somebody was saying, you missed my stop, and the driver said you didn't ring the bell. So he's like, yes, I did, and then he just got very belligerent and wanted to start an altercation. So I myself got off the bus.
Drivers have resources to handle those situations.
He made a call, and then the guy was like kind of straighten up and says, oh, okay, I'll sit down. But, you know, alcohol does it to people.
So before you head home, stop and think about the lives you're putting at risk, and don't forget about local programs that are ready to get you and your friends home safe.
There's no reason to even have an OWI.
In Madison, Emily Burdett, News 3 Now.
The Tavern League of Wisconsin is currently fundraising for the Safe Ride program. STUEBER will be hosting a party to also raise funds at her bar on January 26th. The Wisconsin Badger football team is trying to stay loose ahead of the New Year's Day Rose Bowl game against the Oregon Ducks. Several members of the team went bowling last night, including Jack Cohn, Jake Ferguson, and Madison Cohn. Stay with News 3 Now for all things Rose Bowl. We've got team coverage in Pasadena every day leading up to the game. Two alert neighbors jumped into action when they saw two kids drowning in an icy retention pond near East Troy. Musquonago police photos show the scene. Tony and Danielle Castro spotted two neighborhood kids drowning in an icy neighborhood retention pond the day after Christmas. Danielle called 911 and Tony ran trying to rescue the 10-year-old girl and 11-year-old boy, but the water was too deep and icy cold. Danielle rushed back to their home to grab a long extension cord to pull the kids to safety.
He went in there and it was up to his shoulders, and he wasn't even more than a few feet from shore.
Police officer also tried to save the kids. The Musquonago Fire Department's water rescue team finally used special ropes and suits. Fire officials say the two children and the officer are doing okay. The Association of Church Musicians held a pop-up choir this afternoon in the state capitol rotunda. Church musicians from around the area gathered to sing and spread the joy of the holiday season. Organizers say the event helps continue the spirit of Christmas through all 12 days of the season. Amazon had a record-breaking year from independent sellers on the online marketplace. One of those small businesses comes from right here in Madison. Your Heart's Content is a retail company that sells home decor and gifts. Owner Michelle Ruta made the switch to online sales 11 years ago, and just in the past year on Amazon, the company doubled its growth. She says online takes a lot of management and promotion on social media, but it's worth it.
It's hard to really understand the scope of the opportunity that online provides until it actually works its way up to that level. So it started slowly for many years, and it worked up to this.
Your Heart's Content is sold at online platforms on Etsy and Amazon, as well as locally at booth 121 in Monona. When we come back, Wisconsin is considered a critical swing state in the 2020 presidential election. How an organization in Milwaukee is trying to get out the vote among underrepresented communities.
Get
Welcome back. Wisconsin is considered a crucial swing state in the upcoming presidential election. A group in Milwaukee is working to increase voter turnout among black voters. Canvassers are out in the city's predominantly black neighborhoods, talking with voters they believe have been neglected for decades, economically and politically. Their group, Block, hopes to increase black voter turnout in ignored districts. In 2016, Hillary Clinton didn't campaign in this state during the general election. In Milwaukee County, 43,000 fewer Democrats voted for her than Barack Obama in 2012. Lower Democratic turnout here helped Donald Trump statewide. He flipped Wisconsin by fewer than 23,000 votes.
The surprise of the 2016 election is you actually have to campaign black people as well. Big uptake of it because
Wisconsin Congresswoman Gwen Moore warns in 2020 Democrats cannot forget that lesson. We're learning more about a deadly plane crash in Louisiana. The twin-engine aircraft smashing into a parking lot, then bursting into flames this morning. Everyone on board the plane was headed from Lafayette to Atlanta to attend the LSU game tonight. In fact, one of the people on board, Carly McCord, a television reporter in New Orleans, even works for the New Orleans Saints. Her father-in-law is the offensive coordinator for LSU and coached in the game. The pilot had just taken off from the Lafayette Regional Airport and clipped a power line. The winter weather that pounded parts of Southern California last week is shifting east across the plains and into the upper Midwest this week. Wind, snow, and freezing rain are making conditions treacherous in many parts of the nation's midsection. The Nebraska Department of Transportation was out in full force trying to keep up with the snow on Interstate 29. Dangerous road conditions left this semi jackknifed in a ditch.
Happening right now. It's going to happen through at least Monday morning, and the worst of it is in the northern plain states, the Dakotas. Wind gusts could be 40, 50 miles an hour. This is going to be a serious snowstorm bordering on a blizzard at times.
Forecasters say freezing rain will also become possible over parts of eastern New York State and New England later over the weekend. Let's get a look at your first alert weather with Dave Caulfield. The rain around here isn't over either, right, Dave?
No, round two is moving in as we speak, Amanda, all due to this gigantic low pressure system affecting states from Montana to Michigan and basically everywhere in between with either rain or snow or a combination of both. For us, we actually start off the day because temperatures actually got colder than expected to start off the day. We actually had some rain, snow, and freezing rain and sleet early on, but now we're just dealing with rain and even some thunderstorm activity. There were a couple of indications of maybe some lightning strikes closer to Belvedere and encroaching on Walworth County over the last hour or so. Nothing showing up right now, but areas of fog and some heavy rain possible as we head into the overnight hours. Radar is estimating about a half an inch to an inch of rain southwest of Madison so far today. A little bit closer to Dane County where we haven't had as much rain, about a quarter of an inch, but that's still enough to put us over 45 inches of rain. I don't have an exact amount yet just because it's going to keep changing every hour, but that number, that 45 inches of precipitation this year, only the 7th time in history that we have eclipsed that number in Madison. And as we continue to go up the charts as far as wettest years are concerned. Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam, I thought this camera shot was broken for a bit, but actually it's just the fog that is outside. Visibility is less than 2 miles in many spots still as that next round of rain moves in. Once that rain does move in, our visibility will improve somewhat, but we may have to deal with some ponding on roadways if we do get those downpours to set up. Today's high so far, right around 40 degrees. I think those temperatures will continue to increase through the 40s into the overnight hours. Here are your 3 things to know. Downpours, maybe even some thunderstorms possible tonight. Also some areas of fog tonight and during tomorrow. I think tomorrow actually we'll have some dry periods of weather, so it won't be a washout like today was at times, but still have the umbrella ready to go. And then on the backside of this system, light snow will set up across the area on Monday. Temperatures are starting to increase. You can see already up to 47 in Dubuque, 39 in Madison, and 43 in Janesville. Temperatures are going to continue to rise even with the rain showers overnight through the 40s, and you can see some downpours are possible, some heavy rain overnight into Sunday morning. A few showers still might be out and about, but most of us will have some dry periods of weather on Sunday. Then some showers could redevelop late on Sunday into early Monday. It still should be rain at this point, but as temperatures fall through the 40s and 30s, we could see some changeover to snow early Monday morning. Then, as we continue the list of items we need to talk about, an area of light snow sets up on Monday. It will affect southern Wisconsin, I think, during the later portions of Monday. Not expecting major travel impacts there, but still a couple of inches of snow not out of the question. So another ½ an inch to an inch of rain expected overnight into the day on Sunday. And then about 1 inch to 2 inches of snow, maybe even 3 inches a little bit farther north. Can't be ruled out with the system moving through on the cold side of things Monday. And we stay on the cold side, but quieter for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, with some more rain and snow showers setting up for Thursday and Friday.
So tonight, that fog, I mean, you can tell that it's really an issue. I know our station is kind of on a hill, so as soon as you go up that hill, it's really dangerous.
Yeah, a dense fog advisory in effect until midnight for spots, including Madison. But once that rain comes in, that sort of improves visibility a bit, but we'll have to deal with the heavy rain overnight.
All right, thank you so much, Dave. The Badgers are beefing up ahead of the Rose Bowl game against Oregon. We'll tell you how they're preparing for the matchup ahead in sports.
News.
The Wisconsin Badgers are looking to have some duck for dinner on Wednesday when they take on Oregon in the Rose Bowl. But before that, they'll take on some beef. Melissa Kim is live from Los Angeles with more on the festivities ahead of the big game. Melissa?
Yeah, I'm into all the meats, right? All the meats. Anyways, just to give you an idea of where we are right now, we're obviously across the street from the Staples Center, and the Badgers team hotel is just steps away from here. So they're really getting the full-on Los Angeles, downtown California experience here, and especially with the Rose Bowl. That starts tonight with the Beef Bowl at the time-honored tradition there at Lawry's Prime Rib in Beverly Hills. Now, David Mormon really got the first-hand experience here. He got to create their famous spinning salad. That's a lot harder than it looks, but Mormon, he told us he's just glad that he's a healthy human being right now. He didn't get to play against Minnesota because he was injured, and he actually had a fever earlier this week, so he didn't even get to go to Disneyland with the rest of his teammates. So he is just happy to be here right now.
I grew up going to Chicago with my family on vacation. I would go to the Lawry's in Chicago. And so this is like one of my favorite restaurants in the world. So being able to go kind of do something like that, it's been really cool. It's a really cool experience. Man, I'm pumped. It was definitely a hard couple weeks. You know, you want to be out there playing with the guys, but you know, I'm feeling great and I'm excited to get out there. And one last game as a Badger, so I'm so honored and blessed to do it here in a game like the Rose Bowl. I just can't wait to go out there and play with the guys one last time.
And no one is a better ham and has more fun than Chris Orr. Let's be real here. He got the honors of carving the first cut of meat, and I've never seen him concentrate so hard on anything before. He actually served the first plate to Robin Chris, that's Coach Chris' wife, and he even got to keep his chef swag.
I'm going to wear this in my kitchen every time I cook. And if I make something for anybody, make something for my parents, my brothers, or my fiance, if they say anything, I'll just ask them where their outfit is, and then how to handle the debate. I'm official now.
And on to the basketball team now. They were on the road at Tennessee today looking for their first road win of the season. They started out on fire, though. Brevin Pritzel dropping a three, career-high 17 points for him. Wisconsin was up by double digits in the first half. Now, Demetric Price led the team in points in the Badgers' last win against UW-Milwaukee. Did it again today, 21 points for Demetric as the Badgers beat the Volunteers by 20 points. Biggest margin of victory against a Power 5 team on the road. Back here in LA, this is the line that you see right here where we're standing outside the Staples Center. People, that line there is for an ice skating rink that's probably like a 16th of the size of LeBron Arena back in Madison. Just giving you an idea of what's going on out here, and we'll of course have much more coming up tomorrow night from the Badgers defense. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Melissa. We'll be right back.
And here's the last look at the radar. Round 2 of rain moving in. Could be heavy at times overnight. Breezy as well with some areas of fog.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.
It's the